Italian Wine Podcast. Cin Cin with Italian wine people.
Welcome to the Italian Podcast with me, Monty Waldin. My guest today is Thomas Bear of the Gagliole winery in Chianti Classico. Did I say that right?
Castellina and Chianti.
In Castellina. So, Thomas, where are you from originally?
Originally, we are from Zurich, Switzerland. I started out as a lawyer and then was a banker. And in my third life, started to produce wine. We were able to buy Gagliole in 1990. The estate itself dates back to 994 after Christ. So it's quite an undertaking to pursue winemaking on this old estate.
So when you say it's an undertaking, do you mean respecting tradition?
Respecting the heritage and the tradition. We try to put the heritage and the tradition into our bottles.
How were you received when you first arrived in 1990? You were probably like the second wave of say, non-Italians to...
That's right. We were always received very kindly, and the local producers always were very helpful, sharing their experiences with us. And gradually we started out with 5 hectares and now we have 19 hectares.
Well, that's a nice size, 19.
Yeah. In 2011 we were able to buy a small vineyard in the famous Conca d'Oro in Panzano.
So what's the Conca d'Oro? Why is it so famous?
The Conca d'Oro is famous for its terroir and for its location. It has a singular terroir and a singular location.
So is it flat?
No, it's a conca. It's a shell, like the name says, and therefore it reflects the sun beautifully. And with the earth that is there, it absolutely makes an amazing wine.
So how are you dealing with, talk about, obviously the Conca d'Oro is a very sunny, warm microclimate, and that's important for Sangiovese. Why? That
is very important for Sangiovese wine. We have about 90% Sangiovese grapes in Panzano, and the grape quality there is absolutely ideal. We also started out making biological wine and grapes in Panzano, as all our neighbors also are, because Panzano has a special microclimate which lends itself very well to biological winemaking.
So in the Panzano group, you're sort of one of the leaders in Italy for producers getting together, talking to each other, and you've got like almost a total organic zone there, haven't you?
That is correct. There is a very close relationship and coordination among the producers in Panzano.
So the idea is that insects that might eat grapes fly around. They don't respect boundaries, right?
Exactly. That makes it much easier to make biological wine in Panzano than it is in Castellina, where, first of all, the microclimate is different, and second of all, the neighbors are not all as biological as they are in Panzano.
Do you have other producers coming to you from other regions to look at Chianti? Because Chianti's such a complicated wine sometimes in a complicated region, and people think it's a bit stuck in the mud, a bit old-fashioned, but this is pioneering, isn't it, this organic project?
I think it's pioneering in the biological way. I think the way we are doing it is very much state-of-the-art.
So let's talk about the taste. The main grape is Sangiovese.
That's right.
So what makes Chianti Classico and Sangiovese such a good match?
Well, Chianti Classico originally is Sangiovese, and only more recently were other grape varieties added. So I think the autochtone grape of Chianti Classico is Sangiovese. And I think especially if you have a good terroir and a good location, you should be able to make an exceptional Sangiovese which can stand alone.
So when you have dinner after a long day talking with your organic neighbours, when you go home, what do you make for dinner to have with your Chianti Classico?
We usually have red meat, but occasionally also pasta, depending on the year, on the vintage of the Sangiovese that we drink.
So when you say pasta, what pasta with what? With just pomodoro, tomato?
We have a specialty in our house, ravioli aperti.
Go on, what's that?
We have a Tuscan cook who has a specialty, ravioli aperti. These are very, very thin ravioli that are not closed and are usually filled with spinach or ricotta.
So do you get a bit of pressure from Mrs. Bear about eating more vegetarian food and avoiding the steak?
That's true.
So how is tourism affecting Chianti, both the positive side and the negative side?
I think it's starting to come back again. It used to be, or the past few years was a bit weak, but we're seeing an influx again of tourists coming from all over the place.
The Chianti Classico region is situated between two of the most famous cities in Italy, Florence and Siena.
That's correct.
So how is the type of tourist that you get? What do they look for? Do they just want to taste wine, or do they want a bit of history and culture?
No, they want a bit of history. They want to, of course, see Siena. They want to see Florence, and they want to see the countryside. Especially our estate is worth a trip, because our estate in Castellina is characterized by these dry stone wall terraces that you don't very frequently see nowadays.
So where did the stones come from?
These are local stones that came from where the terraces are really made.
So they came out of the soil when the vineyards
exactly
were being created and being
That's
worked
right.
by the
and
horses.
They gradually decay over time and turn into sand, and that makes the territory what it is.
Okay. So just looking at you now, you're not a young man, but when I look at you, you are a young man. You see what I mean? Your smile and your enthusiasm. And so what keeps you going?
Well, I think we want to, on behalf of the family, my children and grandchildren take a keen interest in the progress of the winery and help us, and we try and want to make one of the best wines in Tuscany.
And just go back a little bit to the history. You're saying your history of your estate goes back to 900?
994. We have a document in the historical archives of Siena where a Langobard king gives Gagliole, the estate, to his son on the occasion of his marriage.
So you're the modern day king about to hand over to the next generation.
That's right.
Thomas Behr, it's been a delight to talk to you. I hope to come and see you in Chianti sometime in the future.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Thank you, Alain.
Follow us at Italian Wine Podcast on Facebook.